Sorotzkin Elul is one of the nicest things possible to do in Elul. It really captures the whole essence of what Elul really is. Last year, there was a little apprehension. I was speaking with the Mordechai coming here that when he first instituted this Kollel Elul, he didn't know how it would take, if people would be machshivet and people would be willing to shtelzu. And last year, Baruch Hashem, it started with a richtige kavone. It was a real good kavone l'shem shamayim. And when you do something l'shem shamayim, so it has a kiyum, and it not only has a kiyum, the Eibishter sees to make sure that the thing develops far beyond all expectations. Last year we said, the Mordechai reminded me that this is a revolution, and that Amir Hashem, we gave the broche and the tefillah that this should take on and spread and become not just something that's taking place in Lakewood, nor this Amir Hashem will spread to other cities as well. Rabbi Yonason was telling me that for Hashem, it became something that other cities followed suit, Flatbush, Montreal, and there was another city, Muncie. And I believe, as we were talking, that this will become global. And I remember when the yeshiva of Mordechai Atzadik on Purim, it sounds a strange concept. And when it started, it was a handful of people that were coming to Purim, who can take off Purim. And it became a universal zach that on Purim, there's what we have, Yeshivas Mordechai Atzadik. And this is going to become what Elul is all about. This is going to be what Elul is going to be. It's going to become a zach that everybody is going to realize that this is what we should be engaged, as hard as it seems. It will become easier because it will become a zach that everybody will recognize that this is what we should be doing in Elul. So Be'ezer Hashem, we hope and believe that this will continue to grow year after year until it becomes a Metzias Kayom, that this is what Elul stands for and what the essence of Elul. Now we want to give a little understanding of what Elul is about and why this is the true essence of what Elul is. We begin the Elul with blowing the shofar. It's a Pirkei Rablezer. Every day we blow the shofar. And the shofar, the Torah says, is to awaken in us and arouse in us a hisairis to change. A hisairis for tshuva. This is what tshuva means. Tshuva means changing and becoming different, elevating yourself, inspiring yourself. And this is what the call of the shofar is about. But what is exactly the change that we're referring to? What does it mean, the tshuva that we're supposed to do in this Tkufas Hashoneh, beginning with Chodesh Elul? The Rambam, when he discusses the mitzvah of blowing shofar and the purpose of tshuva, uses a strange terminology. The Rambam explains it that people tend to forget the truth. Through the course of the year, the Rambam writes, you are shecheach es ha'emes, you forget the truth. And the Rambam writes, shoygin kol shnosam behevel v'rik asher lo yoyel v'lo yatzu. And the person engages in many mundane things in many things that are really no essence to him, they have no value, they're not really important, they're trivial. Zachen ashalo yoyel, and the Rambam's lashon is shoygin kol shnosam. They're running and they're busy doing things that it looks as if, and they believe that they're doing things of importance. But the Rambam calls them lo yoyel v'lo yatzel. You know, the mashgiach in Slabodka, when he used to talk to his bochim, give him a shmuas, from time to time he used to take him to the window, and there was a marketplace that was around the yeshiva, and he would tell them, the bochim, you see over here the hustle bustle in the marketplace, it looks like they're doing such important things here, and people are running back and forth. And he says, in his terminology, this is a lebedike beisak forest. This is a live beisak forest. You can have a beisak forest that the people are walking, and it's like you have like sleepwalking, sleep talking. This can be a getter of a live beisak forest. They're not alive. The life is when you learn Torah. This is kihi chayecha v'oirecha mecha. This is true life. But if you do what these people are doing, this is not what we call the Yiddish derech hachayim. Now the Rambam says you spend their days behevel v'rit asher lo yoyel v'lo yatzel. And the Rambam says focus yourself on a different part of you. The Rambam writes, Habitu l'nafshei seichem. You seem to be focusing on your body, what you see, the external part of yourself that sort of engulfs you and sort of gives you put so much attention to it. But start looking to your neshama, to your true essence. Habitu l'nafshei seichem, veitivu darkeichem u'ma'alechem. Now, Rav Hutner, Zichrono Livroche, in Pachad Yitzchok, questioned why the Rambam used the terminology of shoichei ha'emes, forgetting the truth. What does the Rambam mean to say when he says that throughout the course of the year we forget the truth? Now, he has a deep mimer, but we're going to bring it down to the simple interpretation of what we believe the Rambam is saying. The Ral explains what the concept of shikha is all about. Shikha, he says, is when something is not important to you. The more important, the more you remember it. It's Yodua. Many Gdoilim, Reb Moshe and other Gdoilim were questioned, do you have such a phenomenal memory that you don't forget one word of Torah? And Rav Moshe used to answer, another Gdolim used to say the same thing. It's not that they were blessed with such a memory, but if something is so important to you, if that's your life, if that's your essence, the more you put an emphasis on something, the more you remember it and you can't forget it. It's the little things, it's the things that don't count, that they're not so important for me. Those are the things that we tend to forget. People remember uppermost things that are so important to them. Those things you don't forget. The Rambam is explaining to us what happens in the course of the year. We get inspired in the course of the Yimei Ha'elul, in the time of Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and we make our commitments. We're going to be somewhat different. We're going to grow, and we're going to be more valued to Ruchnias, to Torah, to Avodas Hashem. But as we tend to go away from that Yisairis, we sort of get boggled down with the day-to-day mundane things that we get involved in, and we feel and we sort of forget what's important in life. Why were we created? Why did Hashem bring us to this world for? And we forget, Zok the Rambam, the truth. The truth is Torah, mitzvahs, avodas Hashem. And because we sort of are not, it's not alive in us. You can know things, but if you don't really feel it, if it's not alive in you, you sort of don't recognize the significance and importance. And the Rambam says because of that, we get so involved in so many things that take us away from our true purpose in life. Shoygin kol shnosam behevel varika shelo yoyel v'lo yatzil. And the Rambam says the shofar is to awaken in us and arouse in us habitul l'nafshei seichem. Focus on what is important. Focus on why you were created. Know what your choive is boilomcha, why Hashem created us. This is the purpose of the shofar in this Tufas Hashonah. The shofar brings us to the recognition, to the hargosha, to recognize why we were here, what should our focus be, what should we put our emphasis, our time, our mind, our heart. It should be on habitul l'nafshei seichem, heitivu b'darkeichem. When you look in the Birchas HaTshuva in Shmoneh Esrei, we would think it's talking about chatoyim. We clap for chatoyim. The Birchas HaTshuva doesn't talk one word about chatoyim. It talks about your lifestyle. Hashivenu avinu l'sarasecha v'korvenu malkeinu l'avodesecha v'achazirenu b'shuva shleima l'fanecha. You got to get on course. You sort of divert yourself. You get off course in the course of the year, and you sort of go off to a tangent, and you get yourself so involved in so many things that take you off from your focus of where you should be at. Tshuva means recognizing what your purpose in life is. Hashivenu avinu l'sarasecha. V'korvenu malkeinu l'avodesecha. This is the essence of what tshuva means. Tshuva is to get yourself on course, to get yourself in gear, to recognize what is important in life. You know, we add a kapitel of L'Dovid Hashem Oili every day, of twice a day. And what's so significant about this kapitel, that this was the kapitel that was chosen for this Tufas Hashonah? The answer is, David HaMelech spells it out. And this is what we have to hear when we say the David Hashem. It shouldn't be a zogax. You just say it up, and you don't realize what you're saying. But David says, there's only one thing that I ask you, Ribono Shloilem. And what is it? Shifti beveis Hashem kol yemei chayai. I want that my life should be revolving around the Beis Medrash. My life should be a Torah life. My life should be geared for you, for my neshama, for my ruchnias. The Ponim Yofis says, sure, you need other things to help in your life, but it was all only as much as it brings him to enhance his learning, his avodas Hashem. That was all David wanted in his life. And this is what we have to grill in ourselves. Chazal didn't feel it sufficient to say it for one time, but twice a day for throughout 40 days straight. You say it and repeat it till it gets a part of you, until you really, truly feel it. To recognize why we're here. We're here to serve Hashem. We're here to learn His Torah. We're here to do His avodas Hashem. This is the Tachlis Habriya, and this is what we're supposed to gain out of the Tufa of Chodesh Elul, this Tufas Hashonah. You know, there's a saying from Yisrael Salanter. Rabbi Yisrael Salanter used to say, the whole year is like Elul, and Elul should surely be like Elul. Now, what did he mean the whole year should be like Elul? and Elul is certainly Elul. Rabbi Yisrael, when he lived throughout his year, Moitzi Yom Kippur, he used to say, is Geit on Elul. What he wanted is he shouldn't forget the Seiris that he got from the Tkufa from Elul, which climaxed in Yom Kippur. And most people, after they finish Yom Kippur, they sort of like forget what they gained and what were they going through and what were this period of 40 days there. It wasn't supposed to end when the 40 days are up, but it's supposed to instill in you an outlook on life, that your life should become Elul Dik a whole year. Your life should grow. You should change your value system. What's important in my life? In Elul, you stop and you see you can get away and do things that you didn't believe you were able to do it. But when you come to the realization that it's possible, and that's why we're here, you get a new outlook on life. And the year becomes an Elul year. And then Rabbi Yisrael says that when it comes to Elul, it's for sure. Because in Elul, there's a besonderes ha'oris panim of the Rebbeinu Shalom. There's a special siyata dishmaya. It's Yemei Rachmim. It's Yomim that the Eibishter comes closer to us. Rabbi Yisrael and his Talmidim and his level, they also made a drastic change in Elul. In Elul, they made a change that they used to learn 18 hours a day. The Mashgiach Reb Nosson used to say over that the kviyas of the Sdidrei Halimud of Rabbi Yisrael's Talmidim was 18 hours a day. It's mind-boggling. How is it possible for a person to learn 18 hours a day in a 24-hour period? Just make your cheshbon. And we always tend to add, we're not 100% sure if I'm right or wrong, but I believe this was without davening. Now you can imagine the davening of Rabbi Yisrael and his Talmidim, how long it took. So if you make a little cheshbon, it doesn't seem that there's any time left for sleeping or eating. So I don't know exactly how it was, but one thing was sure, that the day was so packed. For Limud HaTorah, Reb Nosson used to say, why didn't they do that a whole year? And he answered, because it's not possible. To keep up that rigid schedule of 18 hours, even Rabbi Yisrael and his Talmidim couldn't do that. But Elul, it opens up, your heart opens up, and you get an isalis, and everything grows in the person, his chukah, his kirveh, his values, that it grows to 18 hours a day. This was the elite Rabbi Yisrael, but everybody, whoever they're holding, has to utilize the proof of Elul to change their values, to recognize why I'm here and what you thought you couldn't do. You recognize you have an ability to do more and a lot more than what you thought is possible. But this is the concept of Elul. Elul is the time of growth. Elul is the time of change. Hashivenu, of returning, getting closer to Hashem, realizing what's important in life, why we're here. You know, the Chai Odom writes, this is the remez of Ani L'Doidi. We all say that the truth of these 40 days, Ani L'Doidi, I am to my beloved, V'Doidi Li. And the Chai Odom says, what does it mean when we say Ani L'Doidi? He says, this Tufas Hashoneh Yitein Kol Liboy Rak B'Avodas Hashem. The Tkufa from Elul till after Yom Kippur is that the person should be totally dedicated only for Avodas Hashem, his heart, his soul, his mind. Your focus when it comes to Elul, and he says that's over Marbe, in Torah, in Tvila, in Stokke. We grow in our Ruchnius because we take more appreciation of what Ruchnius is and what we're here for. We're here to serve the Rebbeinu Shalom. So when it comes this Tkufa, Ani L'Doidi, we set up and gear ourselves and we focus that I am towards my beloved Rebbeinu Shalom, I love you. And when you love Torah, when you love the Ribono Shel Olam, it becomes with a simcha, and it becomes so much easier for a person to do it because he has more of a feeling for it, and more of an understanding for it, so he's able to do it. You know, Reb Leib Chasman, the famous Mashgiach in heaven, used to say, the Tana tells us, Olam hazeh doimel leproister, hikones leproister kedei shetikones letraklin. A proister is the foyer, is the entranceway. And when you have a beautiful palace, so the entrance is a beautiful entrance. And sometimes you can get fooled in the entrance to the palace, and you can stop there and think that this is the end result. And you go into that foyer, and you stop, and you take a look at it, and you get engulfed in it, and you never even enter the trachli. But the proister is merely a passageway, the entrance to get to the trachli. The Tana tells us the Eibishter created this world not as an end in itself. It's a proister bifnei oilam haba. Haskein atzmecha beproister kedei shetikonis letrachli. You gotta set yourself up in a way that you're geared to go into the palace. And Reb Chasman used to say, most people end up in the foyer of this world, and they think this is the palace, and this is the end of the world. And the proof that he said is because they're so busy, most hours of the day, they're so engulfed in seeing to have a comfortable world in this world. And they do things just to take care of their needs in this world, instead of understanding that they're only here as a means to get to Olam Haba. When a person understands that, he gears himself totally different in this world. He doesn't spend his time in this world just to beautify this world, but he tries to do what it takes to get himself a beautiful Olam Haba. Haskin atzmecha beproister, spend your time, spend your efforts, give yourself over to the function of what it takes to get to Olam Haba. And that is determined by how much you spend of your time for Ruchnius, for your Neshama, for Avodas Hashem, for Torah, and for Tefillah. It's famous, a few maisim will say with the Chofetz Chaim. There was a big oisher that heard so much about the Chofetz Chaim, and he wanted to visit the Chofetz Chaim, the prince, the queen, the king of Klal Yisrael, and he was imagining to himself that the Chofetz Chaim certainly must be living in a palace that's befitting a royal person, and he expected he'll come to Radin and he'll see the Chofetz Chaim living in a kingly fashion. And he can't find any palace, and then they show him a dilapidated shack, and he comes into the Chofetz Chaim and he sees there's no furniture in the house. You can't even find a set of any sort, one broken chair like this and another chair like this. And he questions the Chofetz Chaim and says, where's your furniture? And the Chofetz Chaim questions him back and he says, where is your furniture? He says, oh, what kind of question are you asking me? If you'd come to my house, you'd see beautiful furniture. I have it furnished and it's elegant, but I'm traveling now. And when I'm traveling, you expect me to carry with my furniture with you? I can't possibly carry my furniture. That's where my home is. Furniture you keep in your home. I beautify my home. And the Chofetz Chaim says, that's exactly it. This is not my home. My house is in Mirz Hashem going to be in Olam Haba. And we can imagine what the house of the Chofetz Chaim is in Olam Haba. It's something beyond what to fathom. A man who lived in such a way that his Olam Haba is not to be Mashayir. How did he get to be the Chofetz Chaim? Because he wanted true life. He didn't want this world. That's not Chaim. But Chofetz Chaim is the true life. He geared himself that nothing in this world had any value to him. He was merely a passerby in this world. He lived there in a way that he's just traveling through here to get to Olam Haba. He needs to do what it takes. The ticket to get into Olam Haba is Torah and mitzvahs and avodas Hashem. And the more Torah, the more ruchnias, the more avodas Hashem, then your greater portion in Olam Haba. The Rav Yitzchok used to give a mashal, I believe it's a mashal, maybe it's even a ma'aseh. There was a boat that was sailing from the old country, and they were coming to the land of America, the land of plenty, and they were coming to America. Everybody wanted to get to America and strike it rich in America, and everybody had their dream. They're going to get out of their poverty, and they're going to come to America. It happened to be that this boat was docking to refuel and to get provisions and food and all the different things that they need. They were making a stop for a couple weeks in France and to refuel, and then they would continue on to America. There was one person who was looking at the itinerary, and he sees that the first stop on the way to America is France, and they're going to spend a good couple weeks in France. And he thought to himself, listen, I'm going to be in France for a couple weeks, so it doesn't make sense. I should feel so strange in the country, and I won't know what to do with myself. And so he starts learning the French language and the French culture, and he finds out the points of interest and the places where you can eat, and all the different enjoyments that he could have in France when he's going to be there for a couple weeks. And then when the boat docks in France, he gets off the boat, his mamish, he feels at home, and he's enjoying himself in France immensely. On the boat were preparing themselves for France, and they were running around. They didn't know where to go, what to do. They weren't so comfortable in France, but he was very comfortable in France. And then the boat, after 2 weeks or so, continues on and comes to America. And everybody on the boat was all prepared. They knew where their final destination is and what their purpose is and why they're going on this boat. And they recognized that they're going to get to America, and they made themselves all different provisions and ways to be able to get themselves set up with jobs and whatever it took to make themselves acclimate in America. There was only one fool, and that was that person who spent his time on preparing himself in how he's going to live in France. He comes there to America, he's lost. Everybody gets jobs, and everybody gets the good jobs, and he's left there after everything is taken up, and he doesn't have where to go because he didn't prepare himself. And he sort of got sidetracked of what he was going for. Why did he go this trip? And the Rav Yitzchok says we're all sailing on a boat in this world. It's not we're settled here. This is not our final destination. We're just traveling through this world. Before you know it, we're already leaving the world. The Eibishter put us here for a purpose, to get to Olam Haba. And the more you understand that, the more you'll be successful in this world. Those people that put so much emphasis on this world, it's like they're making their dogish the France instead of making the final destination, which is Olam Haba. This is the focus of what happens to people, that throughout the course of the year we sort of sidetrack ourselves and we don't recognize what's important in our life. You know, there's a medrash, a psikta. The psikta says, Tiku b'chodesh shoifor b'kesel liyoim chagenu. And the psikta says what it means is we blow the shofar in the month of Chag HaSukkos. Bakese liyoim chagenu is referring to Ma'u Bekese b'chodesh sheyesh boi Chag HaSukkos. Bakese is Sukkah. What shaykhs does the shofar have to the yont? What connection does Rosh Hashanah to have to Sukkot? The essence of Sukkot is going out of our permanent homes into temporary dwellings. It's the climax of what we go throughout this Tufas Hashoneh. To realize this world is a temporary abode. That this is not my final home and my final destination. Nor in Sukkot we learn Keheles, Havel Havolim Omar Keheles Hakol Hovel. The purpose of Yontif Sukkot is when it sounds like you're living it up in this world. The Meforshim say Sukkot is a Zman of Osif, when there's a bounty, and you could fool yourself to think that this itself is the Tachlis. But in Sukkot, the Eibusher says, I want you to go out of your house to recognize that that is not your purpose. This is not your home. Your home here is merely like a sukkah, like a diras ari. Your home is oilam haba. So we blow shofar. This whole tkufa is a iris to get to the recognition of what this world is all about. It's only a diras ari, and the real home of a person where you should want to beautify it is, here's your chance, because you will not be able to beautify it when you get there. It's hayoim la'asoisom. You have to do it b'olam hazeh to make sure you're going to have a beautiful olam haba. Reb Sholem Shvadran, I heard it from him maybe more than once, used to say over something from the Kelmer Magid. The Kelmer Magid said that there was a cruise that went out in Shamayim, and there was a cruise that the people that are buried in Kelm have a right to come back to this world for a half an hour. And the cruise was publicized, and everybody heard about it. All the people in Kelm knew that the people that were buried in Kelm for hundreds of years were now had a permission to come back to this world for a half an hour. And when the people in Kelm heard this cruise, everybody went out towards the Beis HaKvoros to greet parents, zaydes, bobes, uncles, relatives, friends, and they wanted to speak to them and hear what's doing upstairs in the world. And they wanted to talk to them. They had an opportunity to meet and to discuss and to talk to them. So they're all running to them and they're all trying to talk to them. And they see a strange thing happens. All the people who get out of the Beis HaKvoros, and this is what the Kelmer Magid was, he portrayed it, and he said all the people that came out of the Beis HaKvoros were running. And they passed up all their relatives. Nobody stopped not to an Einikel. Nobody was busy seeing an Einikel, talking to an Einikel, and they see that there's a wild rush. And they see all these people ran into the Beis Medrash. Everybody ran into the Beis Medrash. So when the Beis Medrash got full, they hung to the rafters around the Beis Medrash, and everybody stood in the Beis Medrash, and they were busy learning and doing Avodas Hashem for half an hour straight. And when the half an hour stopped, they all ran back just like they came, and they disappeared. They didn't talk one word to anybody in this world. And the Kelmer Magid used to explain it. When they came upstairs, they saw the value of time. They saw what the purpose is, where we can get to an olam haba if we utilize the time properly. And they realize how precious every minute of a person's life is. If you use your life out properly. So they came down to the world and they realized they'll use that half an hour. It's an opportunity that they can grow in olam haba. Their home in olam haba can grow to no end. You know, they say over from the Goyen a story, and you know, to us it sounded strange, but when you hear this moshel and this maaseh, you get a little understanding in the Goyen. You know, the Goyen didn't see family members, and he didn't see his mother, I think, for maybe something like 50 years. And finally, she comes to where the Goyen is, and she starts coming into the Goyen. She talks, Yisholem Aleichem, and she wants to strike up a conversation with the Goyen. And the Goyen says, my dear mother, I have a certain amount of time that I'm talking to you, but you have to realize it's going to be short, and I'm not going to be able to talk to you so much. And that's what he did. He spoke to a very short amount of time, and then he says, in Yenevelt, I'll talk to you. But here, I don't have the time to spend to talk to you, because every second of my time is so precious for Ruchnius, for Torah, and Avodas Hashem. This is what Elul is all about. Elul is the tkufa of recognizing why we're here. Recognizing that we're here to learn Torah. We're here for Avodas Hashem, to focus, like the Rambam says, Habitu l'nafshi seichem. Instead of focusing on your body and being fooled and being enticed by all the pleasures of the world around us that are trying to engulf us, the Yetzer Hara poses himself in many ways to try and make it look like Olam Hazeh is a gishmak place, and it's so many good things that you could enjoy. You could have great adventures here in this world. We're here for one purpose. Elul is when we get to the recognition, to realize that we're here for the tachlis of Ani L'Doidi. We're here to sit in the Beis Hashem, Shifti Beveis Hashem, and our tefillas are Kol Yemei Chayai. What we tend to think that it's not possible. I have a schedule. The Tana tells us, "Havi memayit be'esek v'asoik b'toyreh," and I hear constantly from the Rosh Hashiva Reb Chaim Shtein. What that means is you constantly have to scrutinize, like a wise businessman scrutinizes his business. You have to scrutinize your time. You have to scrutinize your day, and what you believe is how much time you need for your asek. And how much time you leave over, the Tana says constantly cut down on that. Keep on touching it and keep on cutting down and asoik b'toyreh. Elul is to infuse us that the whole year should become Elul. But Elul should certainly be Elul. When we come and get into the Avir of Elul, we have to get a strong commitment to the Ribono Shel Olam. This is the Ashivenu Avinu L'Sarasecha, the Korvenu Malkeinu L'Avedesecha. This is the beauty of what Kollel Elul is all about. Realizing that it's possible. What you thought is not possible, it's possible to cut down from your schedule. You can make more time for Torah. And the more you cut, the more you'll realize, the more you'll have more of a chshivas to Torah, to Avodas Hashem, that we will live in a fashion of a proister to get to Olam Haba.